Senator Caligiuri, you saw the floor next, sir. You have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I rise in support of this bill. We have a serious problem in Connecticut, not unlike other states, and that is that our teen drivers are getting into accidents, so many of them fatal, at a rate that exceeds that for any other group in our segment of our population in Connecticut. We have a moral obligation to try to solve that problem. And there are really only two different approaches that we could take. The first is to raise the driving age, and the second is to take the approach that we're taking in this legislation. That is through increasing educational requirements, training requirements, restrictions, and penalties for individuals who break the rules that are intended to keep them safe. I believe that this path is a proper one for us to take, and as Senator Nickerson pointed out, it is one that we've taken previously, and I think the improvements we're making are important ones. I was very proud to join Representative Masrick in submitting legislation, part of which is reflected in the bill that we have before us today. We were hit hard in Wolcott, which is one of the towns that I represent, when we lost 3 teens this summer. And it was evident that we needed to try to do something, however imperfect, to try to keep our teens safer than they are currently. I understand and acknowledge that enforcement, especially in this area, is an exceedingly difficult thing to do. But the fact that we have a difficult time enforcing some of these laws does not mean that we cannot do so, and it does not mean that we don't have an obligation to try to the best of our ability to do so. And I would suggest that a number of the provisions that we've put in this bill, including those that Representative Masrick and I introduced, would be things that would help law enforcement better enforce these laws. The stricter penalties for violating restrictions and other requirements for teen drivers could have, I hope, a deterrent effect on teens from doing some of the things that could result in death or serious harm. And the fact that a police officer under this legislation can seize a teen driver's license for up to 48 hours right on the spot if the police officer finds that that teen is in violation of any number of the requirements that they have to abide by, which again are designed to keep them safe, will help, I hope, teach these teen drivers a lesson and take off the road, albeit perhaps for a short period of time, individuals who could do a great deal of harm to themselves and to the people who share the roads with them. And I will just note that that specific provision also requires that that teen cannot get his or her license back until and unless he or she is joined at the police department by their parent or legal guardian. It is my hope that by involving parents in that way, in addition to the training requirements that were spoken of earlier, we will continue to give parents a powerful tool to know what's happening with their teens who are driving and to help us enforce these laws. Is it a perfect bill in the sense that we will have a perfect ability to achieve what we hope to achieve? No. But that's true for most of what we enact. But nevertheless, we have a moral obligation to pursue this. We have a moral obligation to do everything in our power to help keep teens safer. I believe that this bill will do that, and for that reason I'm honored to be supporting it, and I would urge others to do so as well. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Senator, would you mark